DJ who's been a veteran, like, and he's been coached by different coaches. So he's going to get it in a good way.
Yeah.
Rome, who came from Washington, and I talked to Shep, who he coached him in college, and he said, get after him. So, all right, I got that green light.
Welcome back to Peggy and Dionne here on ESPN 1000. Thrilled to be joined by Bears assistant coach and wide receivers coach, Antwaan Randle. Yes, correct. Applause. We're so excited to talk to you. Has it set in? Like you're a coach for the Bears.
It has set in now. And it's, I guess after that first week or two, it set in pretty good, and here we go. And I'm excited about it. I'm ready to roll.
That's awesome. Was this the dream? Like when you started, I know probably growing up here, you thought, oh, maybe I'll play for the Bears.
Yeah.
But was coaching here?
Never thought of coaching here, like in terms of like, oh, that's a dream or a goal of mine. Like I just never saw it like that until I'm like, man, that could happen. Like, and then this was a couple of years ago, and then it ended up happening. So a blessing either way, and thankful for it. Always thought, maybe I could play here one day as a player, but the coaching didn't cross my mind until a couple of years ago, and now it's become a reality.
That's awesome. We all remember you as a player. Well, most of us my age, anyways, remember you as the player, Antwaan. I mean, you were Lamar Jackson before Lamar Jackson. You were the Bo Jackson, the Deion Sanders, the guys that were multi-star athletes. But when I saw you on the sidelines last year with the Lions, the way you were coaching just took me back to remembering you as a younger kid in high school, college, at Indiana, and that energy and that discipline, and yet you're in their face. You're not afraid to coach hard. Yeah. And I was thinking about, I remember an old story on you where you talked about how disciplined your parents were with you guys and how strict growing up. And, you had to come in, same rule that we had to be in before the streetlights came on, which we always had. You weren't able to have sleepovers. You couldn't accept gifts from people in case they wanted something in return. So, I mean, and then you go and you play for Bobby Knight. So you have this part of you that likes to be coached hard. And now it looks like you also coach really hard. You're tough love, aren't you?
Well, I'm a tough love. And I think a lot of it, you said it, my upbringing from my parents, my mom and dad, they were always on us about being where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there. That's one thing I even coach from a route standpoint, making sure you're on time and being where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to, and that's where it comes from. And then obviously, like you talked about, going to play college ball, playing under Coach Knight, that was a big deal because it was like the discipline of it. But I've been blessed to be able to be coached by a Coach Knight, a Bill Cowher, Coach Joe Gibbs, Cam Cameron, who was an offensive mind at Indiana University as it relates to football when I got there, and just so on and so forth. But it started with mom and dad, and then went to high school with Coach Rocky Hill, who was disciplined, and then Coach Bill Moselle, who just didn't take nothing from the superstar, so to speak. So I had that growing up. So it just spills off into who I've become, and who I really like to be. Now I coach hard, but I'm always going to praise and lift my guys up, because I think you can. I got that from Coach Knight in a lot of ways, where, man, this dude was like in your face, on you when you're on that court, and then he'll turn around and give you a little low five. He didn't want nobody to know, but he'll give you a little low five. So I learned that, and it's some give and take with that, especially when you get veteran guys who've played and have done well, and want to go to the next level. Like, you can be hard on them, but it's also some praise that's got to go along with that, to be able to keep them going and encouraging them from that standpoint.
I know we're super early in the process of getting to know the receivers in your room now, but Are you already getting a sense of where you can push and who might be receptive to that type of coaching, that style of coaching?
I mean, I got a sense just from a standpoint of, like, these guys are hungry. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, if you go down the list, you start with a DJ who's been a veteran, like, and he's been coached by different coaches. So he's going to get it in a good way.
Yeah.
Rome, who came from Washington, and I talked to Shep, who he coached him in college, and he said, get after him. So, all right, I got that green light there. So it's you go right on down the list. Maurice Alexander, I had him in Detroit. He knows what to expect. Tyler Scott, who's coming really into his third year, and I need to get after him to make sure I push him from that standpoint. You go right down the line, going back up to Zacchaeus, who has played in this league and understands what it takes. And again, I'm gonna just get after him. And again, it's over and over again. You go to Duvernay, who's again, this is his fourth or fifth year. But again, guys who have been around, and he was in Baltimore at one point, and I know in Baltimore they getting after it. So you just look at what these guys have come from, and it's like, all right, I got to make sure I do my part to really chase after them cats. So, and then you talk about Boykin, who's coming in, a guy who wants to learn, who wants to get better at the wide receiver position. People see him as a special teams guy, but his body type and everything could help us in a lot of different ways. So it's pushing him to really accept a lot of different roles at the same time, have an opportunity to not just make this team as a special team, but bring something in the wide receiver room. And then Samari, who I feel like he has played some significant amount of snaps, not him with Chicago, but when he was with the Bears. Not when he was with Green Bay, it's like, all right, he's played some snaps. He knows the game. So it's getting after him. And then John Jackson, who is a younger guy who you saw last year, kind of lead that, I would say, the scout team, and who has hard work and wants to learn. Like after meeting with these guys, like they don't want to leave anything to chance. It's like, Coach, man, where is it? How do I get better? And I kind of showed them, and here we go. As I sum that up, everybody's going to get it at some point.
So everyone's excited about what Ben Johnson's offense is going to look like with the Bears. One thing we do know is that he loves the play action game. I mean, we saw that in Detroit last year. How does that translate now to the wide receivers? What's going to be expected of them? Is it shorter routes? You got to hit your route correctly. Is it yards after the catch? What does the play action game mean for the wide receivers in this offense?
The play action game for the wide receivers starts with the run game for us. And I've already, that's one thing that I pride myself in. When I came in as a player in Pittsburgh, I realized right away, even though I was a quarterback in college, I had to learn this idea of making the blocks on the outside as a wide receiver. And Hines Ward was able to show me that right off the bat. Like, this is how it needs to be done. So playing in that Pittsburgh Steeler atmosphere, and Hines kind of leading the way with that, like, it was just, it began to be ingrained in me. And so that's what I expect. Like, this idea of going out and blocking, and your guy doesn't make the play, like you're racing your. So for me, that's the biggest thing. So it starts with that in terms of the run blocking, and the play action comes off of that. But if you're not blocking, it's no block, no rock. Is the way we really look at it from that standpoint, and it'll help it. But within that, it's the details of everything. How you go about getting the block, how do you get to a certain depth, again, being where you're supposed to be, when you're supposed to be there, not getting too early because you ran your route too short or what have you. So all those details go together, and when it's working, it's when it's operating on that level and everybody's doing what they're supposed to do, because you got one guy not do what he's supposed to do and then it doesn't work. So those details are important, but it starts with the run game. The play action, obviously, it's great, and that's what people see. But the run game, it starts with us blocking in the run game and showing up in the run game.
I know you have to go here soon. I want to ask you, though, 6 children.
Oh, yeah.
So do you parent the same way that you coach? And does coaching make you a better dad?
I think the other way around. And I only say that obviously because I shouldn't say that only, but I was a parent first. Before I started coaching. That's helped me as a coach. And it can't be the same way because they're not mine. It's really at the end of the day. But it has helped me in that, in understanding, and again, building that relationship as it relates to the players and getting to know them before I begin to really coach them and coach them like they need to be coached.
That's awesome.
You had your Super Bowl moment in Pittsburgh. Now with the Steelers, hopefully you can bring it to Chicago.
Yes.
What a great way to wrap things up that would be for you. It's
Well,
great to see you.
That will be a blessing for sure. We can have an opportunity to get here and win, and that's the goal. That's the goal every year, is to not just get to the Super Bowl or get to the NFC Championship game, is to get there to the Super Bowl and win it. So that's the goal.
Awesome.
Great
Thank
to see you.
Thank you.